Her nails tapped the champagne glass like she was sending a signal, 3 precise clicks before she rose from her seat. I watched the room fall quiet, the chandelier light softening her face into something almost angelic. Almost. "My husband," she began, placing a hand on my shoulder with a practiced tenderness that had grown thinner every year, "has been saving up a trust fund for our future." She paused, letting the anticipation thicken. "And I decided to give it to my sister." Soft laughter first, then applause, real applause. "She deserves a real wedding," she added, voice trembling with pride. Everyone clapped harder. Except me. I didn't blink, didn't move, just breathed slowly through the sharp sting inside my chest. My wife leaned closer, expecting gratitude maybe, some performative nod. Instead, I stood, calmly, too calmly. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone, and let the screen wake. "Should I tell them?" I said, my voice steady enough to silence the room. "What I actually do for a living?" Her smile collapsed so fast it felt rehearsed, and beneath that shattering expression, the night truly began. 2 hours earlier, she had been oddly restless, moving through the house like a woman carrying a secret too heavy for her spine. I noticed. I always noticed. She forgot that silence speaks louder than confessions. She kept glancing at her phone, turning it face down, clearing notifications the moment they appeared. And when I asked if she was all right, she kissed my cheek with a softness that didn't belong to me. Something inside me tightened, but I stayed quiet, calculated. Later in the car, she said it. "I need you to trust me tonight." A strange sentence, unprovoked, heavy. Now, standing in that decorated hall, I replayed it. Trust. She said trust as if she had it already broken it long before this event, long before tonight's public humiliation. Because this wasn't about money, it was about control. The way she framed it, as her decision, her generosity, her power, told me everything. She wanted them to see me as weak, passive, easily dismissed, a man who could be stripped of his future and applaud the thief. But they didn't know me. They didn't know what I did every day, quietly, methodically. I built futures. I dismantled lies. I found truths people paid fortunes to hide. She thought she had engineered the perfect humiliation. She had no idea the ground beneath her was already cracking. I didn't confront her. Not that night, not the next morning, not even when I saw the bank transfer, time-stamped during a lunch she claimed she spent with a friend. I kept every breath steady. Instead, I started collecting data. Her sister's messages, their shared photos, old conversations that hinted at a deeper alliance, one built long before I entered their family. I traced the spending, the rehearsals, the venue deposits, and then the messages. Not between the sisters, between her and the best man. Hidden under initials, a private thread labeled caterer, but containing no catering details. I read everything. Her complaints about me, her disdain for my boring job, her belief she could take half of everything when she eventually left. And the worst part? You think he suspects. No, he's too soft. Soft. I laughed, quietly, coldly. I kept investigating. Phone backups, deleted images, her sister's financial desperation, the fiancé's sudden new car. Piece by piece, the picture formed. The trust fund decision was not impulsive. It was strategic, cruel, coordinated. A test to see if I would break. I didn't. I calculated, and I prepared my answer. The final confirmation came in the form of an anonymous message, screenshots, photos, timestamps. I didn't need to guess who sent them. Someone in their circle knew the truth and wanted it exposed. The best man, the hotel room, my wife's hand in his, her wedding ring on the bedside table, heard texting me good night while lying on someone else's chest. I didn't feel anger, just clarity, like a fog lifting. So on the night of the rehearsal dinner, while she boasted about giving away my trust fund for love, I simply pulled open a folder on my phone and held it out. Her face drained to paper white. "What is that?" she whispered. "Proof," I said calmly, "of what you've really been planning." Her hand trembled, her breath hitched. Around us, the room watched, confused, curious. She whispered, "Please, not here." But here was exactly the point. I stepped closer to her, lowering my voice so only she could hear. "You wanted to humiliate me publicly," I said. "You wanted power." Then I raised the phone slightly, just enough for the nearest guests to see thumbnails of the images. Her sister gasped. Her mother covered her mouth. The fiancé froze, eyes wide, recognizing the hotel hallway in the background. Silence fell like a blade. I turned to the audience. "You clapped," I said calmly, "for an act of generosity that never existed. The money wasn't hers to give, and she didn't give it to her sister." A beat. "She gave it to her affair partner, to fund their future." My wife shook her head violently. "No, that's not." I cut her off with a single sentence. "Should I tell them what I actually do for a living?" Because the truth was simple. I investigate people. I unravel secrets. I dismantle lives built on deception. I didn't need to raise my voice. The images did it for me. Her world cracked in real time. She reached for me, out of instinct, habit, desperation, but I stepped back. "I loved you," she whispered. "I know," I replied, "but you loved power more." I picked up my jacket, buttoned the top button, and walked toward the exit without looking back. The applause from earlier still echoed faintly in the hall, a haunting reminder of the moment she believed she had won. But in the end, I wasn't the one who shattered. She was. At the doors, I paused for a second, not to reconsider, not to forgive, just to acknowledge the quiet shift inside me. Something had closed. Something final. I walked out of the hall, leaving her surrounded by the truth she tried so hard to bury. And that was the last time she ever had power over me.